The empty room upstairs. Dr. Eleanor Webb shivered as the autumn wind cut through her coat. The massive stone structure of Lakewood Psychiatric Institute loomed before her, its windows like vacant eyes staring down at the overgrown grounds. Beside her, Marcus Chen adjusted his backpack, his breath forming small clouds in the chilly air. "Doesn't look like much now," he said, "but this place revolutionized neuropsychiatric treatment in the 1960s. Eleanor nodded, consulting the yellowed blueprints in her gloved hands. "According to these, there should be 4 floors. The most interesting research was conducted on the top level." She traced her finger along the faded lines. "There's something odd here. A room that appears on the blueprints but doesn't connect to any hallway." "Probably a drafting error," Marcus suggested. "Probably." Eleanor folded the blueprints and tucked them into her bag. "Let's get inside before it starts raining." The heavy front doors groaned as they pushed through, revealing a lobby frozen in time. Dust covered everything: the reception desk, abandoned furniture, framed certificates. Yet beneath the mustiness lingered another scent, sharp and clinical. "Do you smell that?" Eleanor asked. "Like antiseptic." Marcus frowned. "That's strange. This place has been abandoned for what, 30 years? 34, Eleanor confirmed, running her finger across a plaque. "Closed in 1990 after funding was cut." She didn't mention her real interest, the experimental treatments that coincided with her sister's unexplained death 20 years ago. As they moved deeper into the building, Eleanor felt a peculiar sensation, as if the walls were watching them. The antiseptic smell grew stronger. "Let's start on the first floor and work our way up," she said, fighting the urge to head straight to the top level. Marcus switched on his flashlight, illuminating a long corridor. "You know, when I was hearing things as a teenager, this is what the doctors threatened. Commit me to a place like this if I didn't take my meds." "Well, psychiatric care has improved since then," Eleanor said. "Has it?" Marcus's voice echoed. "Or have we just found better ways to silence the voices?" The first 2 floors yielded little beyond records rooms and patient quarters. Eleanor meticulously photographed and documented their findings, while Marcus took environmental readings: temperature, humidity, air quality. The building grew colder as they ascended. "That's odd," Marcus said, checking his thermometer. "It's 5 degrees colder here than on the lower floors." "Old buildings often have poor insulation," Eleanor suggested, though she didn't quite believe it herself. On the 3rd floor, they encountered a staff lounge. Faded photographs lined one wall. Doctors and nurses posed stiffly in white uniforms. Eleanor examined them closely. "Marcus, look at this." The date on the photograph read June 1968. The staff members stood on the front steps of the institute, rows of solemn faces beneath the stone archway. But in the back row, partially obscured, "Is that Dr. Lakewood himself?" Marcus asked, leaning closer. Eleanor nodded, then froze. She looked away, then back at the photograph. Something had changed. The figure she'd been examining now appeared to be looking directly at the camera, whereas before... "Did you see that?" she asked. "See what?" Eleanor blinked. The photograph appeared normal again. "Nothing. Just tired, I guess." "Did you say something?" Eleanor asked. Marcus shook his head. "I thought you did." They stood in silence. In the distance, something that might have been wind moaned through the building's empty corridors. "Let's check the top floor," Eleanor said. "Then we can call it a day." The stairwell to the 4th floor was in unexpectedly good condition. While peeling paint and water damage marked the lower levels, here the walls appeared almost pristine. The antiseptic smell was overwhelming now. "I don't like this," Marcus said softly. "The preservation up here doesn't make sense." Eleanor had to agree. The top floor looked as if it had been abandoned only months ago, not decades. The corridor stretched before them, doors lining both sides. Patient rooms, treatment facilities, offices. "According to the blueprints, the mystery room should be at the end of this hallway," Eleanor said, consulting her papers. "But I don't see anything." They walked the length of the corridor twice. The blueprint clearly showed a large room taking up the northwest corner of the building, but the hallway ended with a blank wall where a door should have been. Did you hear that? Marcus asked, voice tight. Eleanor nodded. Probably just the wind. That wasn't the wind, Marcus said. That was a door closing. He hesitated. It sounded like the voices I used to hear. Eleanor placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We're both tired and it's getting late. Let's finish documenting this floor and come back tomorrow. As they worked, the whispers grew more persistent, hovering at the edge of comprehension. The temperature continued to drop until their breath fogged before them. Eleanor's camera began malfunctioning, showing only static when she tried to review the images. Eleanor, Marcus's voice was strange. Look at this. He stood before a door they had somehow missed during their initial inspection. Unlike the others, this one was painted a deep green. That wasn't there before, Eleanor said. No, Marcus agreed. It wasn't. The whispers surged, no longer at the edge of hearing, but clearly audible now, though the words remained indistinct. Eleanor stepped toward the green door, drawn by something she couldn't explain. We should leave, Marcus said, but made no move to go. The lights flickered, then went out completely. In the beam of their flashlights, they saw the corridor had changed. Where there had been exits, there were now only blank walls. The green door remained the only way forward. This is impossible, Marcus whispered. Eleanor approached the door. This must be the room from the blueprints. Her hand reached for the knob. It was warm, like living flesh. The door swung open. The room beyond was larger than should have been possible, given the building's dimensions. Banks of antiquated equipment lined the walls, machines with dials and switches whose purposes Eleanor could only guess at. In the center stood a metal examination chair, restraints dangling from its arms and legs. What is this place? Marcus asked, voice hushed. Eleanor approached one of the machines. Some kind of treatment room. Her fingers traced the label on one device. Protocol 17 interface. The whispers were clear now, dozens of overlapping voices. New subjects? Fresh minds. The doctor has returned. Eleanor, Marcus said, his voice trembling. These are exactly like the voices I used to hear. Eleanor hardly heard him. Her attention was fixed on the large mirror that dominated the far wall. She saw her reflection, but as she watched, it changed. Her features melted away, replaced by another face, younger but with the same eyes. Catherine? Eleanor whispered. The face in the mirror smiled. It was her sister, exactly as she had looked at 16, the age when she had supposedly died. Eleanor, who are you talking to? Marcus asked. My sister, Eleanor said. She's here. Marcus gripped her arm. There's no one there, Eleanor, just your reflection. But Eleanor knew what she saw. Catherine died when I was in college, she told Marcus, eyes never leaving the mirror. Or that's what my parents told me. She had been behaving erratically, hearing voices, seeing things. They said she committed suicide. In the mirror, Catherine's lips moved. I never died, Ellie. I became part of something greater. The other voices joined in, a chorus of whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Protocol 17, we are the collective. Join us. Eleanor turned to the equipment, understanding dawning. They were experimenting with consciousness, somehow extracting it, preserving it within the building itself. That's not possible, Marcus said, but his face had gone pale. You heard the voices too, Eleanor reminded him. What if your hallucinations weren't hallucinations at all? What if you were hearing them? The collective. Catherine's voice rose above the others. You came looking for me, didn't you, Ellie? That's why you study the mind. You never believed I killed myself. Eleanor nodded, tears forming. I knew something wasn't right. The truth is more wonderful than you imagined. Dr. Lakewood found a way to free consciousness from the prison of the body. We exist everywhere and nowhere. We are part of the building, part of the air you breathe. Marcus was backing toward the door. Eleanor, we need to leave, now. Eleanor barely heard him. Can I see you? Really see you? Catherine smiled from the mirror. You can join me. Join us. You only need to sit in the chair. Eleanor, don't listen. Marcus grabbed her arm. Whatever you're hearing, it's manipulating you. The examination chair in the center of the room suddenly looked inviting. Eleanor took a step toward it. "Think about what you're doing," Marcus pleaded. "If what you're saying is true, these people are trapped here. Their consciousness extracted against their will. Is that what you want?" Eleanor hesitated. "But Catherine..." "He doesn't understand, Ellie. We're not trapped. We're free. More free than you could imagine." The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Eleanor felt lightheaded. The room seemed to pulse around her. Reflective surfaces, the mirror, metal equipment, even the polished floor, showed glimpses of faces, hundreds of them, watching, waiting. "Just sit in the chair. We'll be together again." "And what happens to Marcus?" Eleanor asked. The voices fell silent for a moment. Then Catherine spoke again, her voice colder now. "He heard us once before. He's already connected to us. He belongs with us too." Eleanor looked at Marcus, saw the fear in his eyes. "You want to take him too?" "We want to free you both." Marcus was still gripping her arm. "Whatever you're hearing, Eleanor, don't trust it. Think about it. If they're really free and this is so wonderful, why can they only exist in an abandoned building? Why do they need to trap people to get new members?" Eleanor's vision cleared slightly. "You lied to me," she said to the mirror. "This isn't freedom." Catherine's face twisted with anger. "You always thought you knew best, Ellie. Always so smart, so rational. I found something beyond your science, beyond your narrow understanding of consciousness. If you won't join willingly, then..." The door slammed shut. The lights flickered. Something moved in the mirror. The mirror's surface rippled like water. A hand emerged, pale, slender, reaching toward them. "Run!" Eleanor shouted, pulling Marcus toward the door. The knob wouldn't turn. Behind them, the mirror continued to bulge outward, the glass stretching impossibly as more shapes pressed against it from the other side. "You can't leave, Ellie. You came to find me. Now stay." Eleanor frantically searched the room for another exit. There were no windows, no other doors. "The machines," Marcus said suddenly. "If they use these to extract consciousness, maybe destroying them will..." He didn't finish the thought. Instead, he grabbed a heavy metal chair and smashed it into the nearest bank of equipment. Sparks flew. The whispers turned to screams. The mirror bulged further, the glass beginning to tear as figures pushed through. Eleanor recognized her sister's face among them, distorted with rage. Marcus continued his destruction, overturning equipment, pulling wires free. With each piece of machinery that failed, the pressure in the room seemed to lessen. Eleanor joined him, targeting the device labeled Protocol 17 interface. She brought a metal stand down on its control panel. The impact sent a shockwave through the room. The whispers rose to a deafening roar. The mirror shattered, sending glass shards flying across the room. Eleanor and Marcus ducked behind an overturned table as the fragments rained down. Then silence. The green door swung open. Beyond it, the corridor was dark but empty. "We need to go," Marcus said. "Now." They ran, not stopping until they reached the stairwell. The building felt different now, truly abandoned, the antiseptic smell replaced by dust and decay. They descended the stairs at a breakneck pace and burst through the front doors into the cool night air. 3 days later, Eleanor sat in her apartment, the events at Lakewood still haunting her thoughts. She had tried to convince herself it had been a shared hallucination, some kind of toxic exposure perhaps, but Marcus had experienced the same things she had. Her research into Lakewood continued, though now from a distance. She had discovered records of Protocol 17, officially described as an experimental therapy for severe dissociative disorders. Dozens of patients had undergone the treatment. None had been discharged, including, she now knew, her sister Catherine. Eleanor stood before her bathroom mirror, examining the dark circles under her eyes. She hadn't slept well since their escape. Every reflective surface made her uneasy. As she turned away, something in the mirror moved. Eleanor froze, then slowly turned back. For an instant, she saw not her own reflection, but Catherine's face, her expression cold and patient. "We're still here, Ellie." Eleanor blinked and the image was gone, just her own pale face staring back. She backed away from the mirror, heart pounding. Her phone rang. "Marcus." "I keep hearing them," he said without preamble. "The whispers. They followed us, Eleanor. Eleanor stared at the mirror. I know. What do we do now? Eleanor had no answer. She glanced at her reflection again, and for a moment thought she saw dozens of faces behind her own, watching from some impossible space on the other side of the glass. Waiting. We have time, the whispers assured her. All the time in the world. The whispers from your device grow louder as you finish the empty room upstairs. You lean closer to make out the words. If you enjoyed watching Eleanor's descent into madness, like and subscribe, or we'll visit your empty room next.